What's up, sports fans? It's your man D back. Speak Your Mind Sports Talk. Check it out. Canelo Alvarez. What a big topic in boxing today. But who the hell is he gonna fight next? For the love of sports, let's talk about it.
Yeah, the busy year. Shit happens, niggas want me to talk about it. They love gossip, want me to talk about it. It's all over the gram, so I'ma talk about it. You heard what happened? Niggas want me to talk about it. Shit crazy, niggas want me to talk about it. You heard what happened? Niggas want me to talk about it. Shit happens, niggas want me to talk about it. They love gossip, want me to talk about it. It's all over the gram, so I'ma talk about it. You heard what happened? Niggas want me to talk about it. Shit crazy, niggas want me to talk about it. You heard what happened? Niggas want me to talk about it. Shit happens, niggas want me to talk about it.
Everybody wants to know this. I mean, this is basically like who? Who's it going to be? Is it going to be Andre? Is it going to be Kovalev? Callum Smith? Charlo? Gennady Golovkin? Who is it going to be? I don't think many want to see Triple G. I've seen all kind of polls about that, and the trilogy is probably last on the list, and it was definitely last on the list prior to this performance that Charlo had against Adams. But I think that that fight has dropped as well. So, of course, many Charlo fans, and I'm a Charlo fan myself, but I don't think that after the performance he put up with Adams that he's worthy of that fight before any of these other guys. See, before I really felt like they should give him a fight. He should be right up there respectively with the other guys. He deserves a fight. He's been waiting long enough. But, you know, guys, you have to fight the best. You got to beat the best to be the best, right? Like, everyone's heard that. Beat the best to be the best. Charlo's not beating the best. Now, yeah, he's been number one contender, he's been number one ranked for the WBC for a good while now. And I agreed for a long time that he deserved the fight. I still agree that he deserves the fight. It's just with the potential fights that Canelo has in front of him that can be made, I just don't have him on the priority list up high anymore. And that performance had a lot to do with that. To me, Charlo is right down there with GGG and Spence. I don't want to see Canelo fighting GGG, Spence, or Charlo before I see him fight Andre, Callum Smith, or Kovalev. And so this is what this video is about, guys. Like, who is he most likely to fight next, and who would, or either who would you guys rather see him fight next? That's what we need to find out. What's you guys' thought on that? Remember, double up this week. So it's one mastermind topic, but you get two mastermind titles. We missed last week, so we're doubling up this week. But that's the topic for Canelo. Kovalev is an extremely tough fight. He's a huge guy, and so I don't think that anybody should have any complaints about Canelo making a fight with Kovalev, because Kovalev is an extremely tough challenge for someone like Canelo. Guys, let's remember where he came up from. Everybody wants Canelo to do this, do that, do this, do this. Canelo's done enough. And remember what weight class he's come up from. He's talking about fighting Kovalev. So that's no easy, fighting the Crusher's no easy task. That's a tough task. And if you talk about, as a boxing fan, seeing Canelo fight a Kovalev versus seeing him fighting Spence, Andre, Spence, GGG, or Charlo, no, I would rather see the Kovalev fight. Spence, I don't want to see that at all. I think it's ridiculous for Oscar De La Hoya to even be putting Spence's name in the mix. And also, I think it's a ploy just to snatch some of the attention away from the Spence Crawford fight and bring it back over to Canelo. And I've said this, so I think that's just a ridiculous fight. There's a lot of Spence hopefuls and Spence fans that think he can actually go in there and beat Canelo, but I think Spence would need at least 2 or 3 fights before he talks about fighting at that weight. fight a couple of fights at 154, and at least one fight at 160, or 1-1. But don't just jump up there and fight the best at 160, because regardless of any idiotic argument, Canelo is the best at 160, and Spence, better than anyone, should know better than to make that mistake, because Mikey came up 2 weight classes to fight him and he easily demolished him. So it's safe to say that you're not going to win if you go up 2 classes to fight the best. So I don't want to see that fight. I don't want to see GGG for the 3rd time. That's low on the totem pole. And after Jamal's performance, he's down there as well. Next, we have Callum Smith. Yes, I would want to see that fight. Again, Canelo will be stepping up. Callum Smith is a worthy opponent. I put respect on Callum Smith's name early on, like immediately after the Rocky Fielding fight. I didn't give Callum Smith as much respect as I give him now. But I've been watching him. I did some film work on him, and he's a lot better of a boxer than I gave him credit for. Also, he's a lot stronger than I gave him credit for. So I think that this would be a very good, tough, reasonable fight for Canelo. He's moving up in weight, and I would much rather see that versus Spence, GGG, and Charlo as well. Spence, I'm a huge Spence fan. I think Spence loses that fight, and I don't want to see him go up and make that mistake. So I don't want to see that fight. Now, last but not least, Andre. Listen. When it comes to Callum Smith and Kovalev, I think that those are tougher fights for Canelo than Andre. I think Canelo has a much better chance at beating Andre than he has to beat Callum Smith or Kovalev. But I'm not one of these Canelo haters. See, Canelo haters want to probably see him go fight those guys so that he can lose. That's not why I want to see Canelo fight those guys. I want to see him fight those guys because it's a challenge, and I want to see if he can come through the challenge and win. But I put Andre right in there with him, even though I believe he can beat Andre much easier than those 2 guys, because it's 4-belt unification, guys. So I don't care what you think about Andre, if he did any more than Charlo, which he didn't. I mean, he hasn't really fought anyone either. But it's 4-belt unification. So if Charlo had that belt that Andre had, then Andre would be down there with GGG and Spence, and I would have Charlo, regardless of the fight with Adams. I would still have Charlo up there because it's 4-belt unification. So guys, those are the choices. I don't want to drag this out. We all know about Canelo. Those are you guys' choices. Who and why next for Canelo? Who and why? Okay? Mastermind, we double up this week. We have Kovalev, Callum Smith, Andre, of course Spence, GGG, and Charlo. These are the choices, guys. Who would you guys, like to see Canelo fight next? Why? Alright? Great topic. Interested to see what you guys have to say. And remember, guys, 150 words or less, send in that audio recording at speakyourmindsportstalk@gmail.com. 30 seconds or less. Hit that subscribe and that bell icon. And for the love of sports, let's talk about it. Peace.
Shit happens, niggas want me to talk about it. They love gossip, want me to talk about it. It's all over the gram, so I'ma talk about it. You heard what happened? Niggas want me to talk about it.